the Liam situation, which we've talked about. So.
All right. Short and sweet. We'll go to Dave, then Joe and Adam.
Hey, Dan. Just wondering what your thoughts were when you found out this game was going to be played at Finneran, first time in some 30 years, other than the COVID year. And what kind of, maybe what kind of advantage that might give Villanova, and what kind of atmosphere you expect tomorrow night?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, the dynamics around, they've got a two arena situation like we do. We have not, not a whole lot of control over, which games get played in which place, or at least not anywhere near total control. So I don't know. I'm not sure, how they decide which game goes where. Obviously we've won the last couple of years. Is it still Wells Fargo?
Yep.
Yeah, we've won there, so you have good vibes going in there. But that's also too, and playing at Wells Fargo is just. My first time going there to play Villanova, and obviously the arena is as good as you'll play in basketball. And then, just seeing their fans like tailgating in the parking lot as you're pulling up to Wells Fargo, and then that atmosphere in there, was really tough to play in, and it was incredibly exciting place to play. And again, the quality of arena was amazing. And now it's obviously the first time playing in the on-campus, situation. I'm sure it's going to be a similar feel that people have when they come play at Gamble, as opposed to, to XL, more of a collegiate crowd, younger crowd, probably more, more chaotic crowd.
Did you ever play
there? I had
there?
no reaction. Yeah, I did. So that's the only place that I ever played, I think.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Limited success, or little to no success. Sorry.
I'll have to look that up.
Don't, please.
Dan, Eric Dixon, obviously you've prepared for him for a while now. How has he developed this year? Obviously, nation's leading scorer. He's hitting a ton of threes. Just how tough is he to defend? And yeah, I guess what are your thoughts on just what he's turned into as a player?
Yeah, I think he's the hardest guy to. I think he's the hardest guy to guard in college basketball now. Obviously, he's a sixth-year college player with all types of experience. But I don't, from an offensive standpoint, just what he brings to the table. I'm not sure that I've gone into a game and watched a guy. Be as efficient, cause more concerns in terms of how to guard him, like from the 3-point line to the front of the rim. Like you're in your own world and you dial in on your next opponent, and it's really been these last couple of days my first chance really dialing in on Villanova. But I guess he's playing at a level of offensively that no one else in the country is playing at. And I don't think it's that close, at least from a high major perspective. That this guy is, his offense right now, it's the best I've seen in terms of preparing for an individual offensive player. Maybe, obviously it's not the same thing as a Zach Edey, because of obviously it's a different type of player, but it's that impactful. And then, you throw, some guys like Poplar, and the point guard who's tremendous, and Longino around him with some firepower on the bench, and you could see why they've been playing so well as of late.
Is that a situation where, Sampson can guard him out there, or is it more of a team effort to slow him down?
Yeah, it's obviously, they've got, other, other guys that are really good offensive players. I mean, obviously, Dixon, creates space and opportunities with the attention he draws. But, there's a reason why they're a top 10 offense, seventh in the country offensively. They're one of the hardest teams you'll guard, if not the hardest team you'll guard the whole year. Obviously with our issues we've had defensively, we've got to be prepared with a plan A, a plan B, a plan C.
Thank you.
You got it.
Go ahead, Zags. You on?
Hey, Dan. Hope you're good, buddy.
What's up, bud?
It's a little early for all the bracketology stuff, but that's never stopped me before. Most of the bracketologist people seem to only have 3 Big East teams in right now: UConn, Marquette, St. John's, with Creighton on the bubble, and then they have 13 SEC teams in. So I guess my question is, you started the year saying the Big East was the best league in the country. Obviously, you've won four of the last 8 titles, so you got the championship hardware. But what does the Big East need to do here to get a few more teams in? And have you noticed the success the SEC's had with everyone in the league doing well?
Yeah, I mean it's the non-conference is really important, and how you perform and the net that everyone brings into conference play is going to determine how many teams get in. And when you look, recently, I know since we've been in the league, it'd be interesting to just, I guess, maybe take a look at the net rankings that the different programs have brought in, recently. It just, if there's not, if you're playing quad 3 and quad 4 games and only getting quad 2 games at home, you're not, it's going to hurt the amount of teams that eventually end up, getting in. I think coming into conference play, obviously, Marquette, I think they were top 10 net. I think we might have been 12 coming into conference play, and then ours has dropped since going 4-0 in the league. I think St. John's came in with a pretty good top 30 net, I think. But I think when we haven't done, I'd imagine enough in the non-conference to have 6, 7, 8 top 50 net teams. When we win, our net goes down, and then for us, and then when we lose, if we're playing teams in our league that have come in with bad net rankings, it's gonna maybe help them a little bit, but it's gonna really hurt us. So we've done, I think, over the course of the last couple of years, I know just Creighton and ourselves and Marquette and a couple of the other teams have done their part in the non-conference, coming in with the quality net, which protects the league. So you gotta win non-conference games, and you gotta come in to conference play across the board with really, really strong net rankings if you want to get more teams in. And until somebody wins the national championship other than a Big East team. Yeah, the fact that us and Villanova, have won, as many recent national championships as we've won. It doesn't matter how many, I guess, really good teams that you have in your league. Is your league producing the best team in the country? I think that's what makes the best league. Does your league have the best team in the country that wins a national championship? To me, that's what sports is all about. Who wins the championship?
Yeah, I agree.
How many good teams? It's not how many good teams do we got.
Yeah, I agree. Are you a little surprised that the Big East only has 3 teams in right now, Dan?
No, but I do think there's, for me, Villanova's, watch them on film, they're clearly an NCAA team, and they'll have a chance to, to make up for the Columbia loss early in the season. And obviously they're going to have to, have a great Big East season. Obviously Creighton, Marquette, ourselves. I think St. John's is definitely an NCAA tournament team. But we all, the numbers got to match up, and that's where, having more teams come into conference play with, quality net rankings. I think Georgetown is really good. And, will they be enough based on everyone's net in the league to get it at large? I guess we'll see how these numbers play out.
Thanks, buddy. Good luck.
All right, man.
All right, we'll go to Roger, then Sam and Wayne to wrap up.
Dan, have you seen enough in Aiden in practice lately to believe that he can build on his performance the other night? And how important is it for you to have another scorer like that?
Yeah, listen, with Liam's absence, and if you take, you take the best player or, one of your 2 best players off of any team, it's going to be it's going to be a problem. And, for us to mitigate that, that firepower, that Aiden could provide, with his shooting and his ability to create off the dribble and get the paint and score. I think, we've seen it, here. We're empowering him. We're going to need his minutes to be in the 20s, here. And he's got a great opportunity to really, really establish himself, reestablish his value as a player, show what he's capable of, produce at a high level. And that's an obvious necessity for where we're at relative to Liam's absence. But then, for us to be the best team that we could be at UConn this year, his emergence and him becoming a real major factor, a 6th starter type of player, for us when we're fully healthy is necessary for us to reach our potential.
Thank you.
You got it.
Hey, Coach. How has Wiggo Poplar's game evolved since he first coached against him in the Miami game in the Final Four 2 years ago?
Yeah, well, obviously, freshman starter on a Final Four team, and it speaks volumes, that way about him as a 2-way player, and his maturity and how he impacts winning at both ends of the court. Him and Dixon, again, without, you're so focused on your next opponent that you really, it's my first chance to really lock in on Villanova, and, that 1-2 punch that they've got with Dixon and Poplar, is as good a 1-2 combo as you're going to play against. he's coming into this game playing really, really well. Two-way player, making threes, getting to the rim and finishing explosively, scoring in the mid-range. It looks like a guy that's going to, play in the NBA and play in the NBA for a while if he could maintain this level.
Thanks, Coach.
You got it.
Wayne, bring us home.
Yeah, that was pretty much my question too, Dan. But I also note that at a 6'5" guard, he's their leading rebounder. So is he a kind of guy that maybe McNeely would have been a factor if he'd been able to play to be able to take his rebounding game away?
Yeah, Liam's absence is, there's no, it's not a coincidence that our first game with Liam out, we were -12 on the glass. So, we've talked about this with Liam. Liam wasn't, just, one of the 2 or 3 best freshmen in the country in terms of overall impact. He's one of the best players in our league. He's one of our 2 best players on our team. And, our guard rebounding has not been a strength to begin with. We've had kind of, rebounding and defense, particularly on the ball, have been issues for us this year. His size at 6'7", being able to put him on a perimeter player, he was not showing up in many defensive breakdowns in terms of screw ups. Within the last couple of weeks, his defense improved drastically, and he was our second leading rebounder. So, whoever's matched up with Poplar is going to have a challenge all over the court against a player of his caliber, and our guard rebounding and Sampson, on the glass here has got to improve.